What is going on? This is Release Rotation. I'm your host, John W. Snyder. Move my camera, it's here. I'm trying a different camera angle. Who knows? I'm always fiddling and messing around with my technology to make this work. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how this goes. But it's always an experiment around here. I'll tell you that much. So, big weekend in sports. Tons of NFL, college football. Georgia beat Tennessee. Georgia looks really good right now. Oregon, they look okay. They squeaked one out. But I will say this, it was a good weekend for Oklahoma and Oklahoma State football because both were off bye weeks. Nobody won, nobody lost. We'll take that in the state of Oklahoma this year. That is for sure. Let's talk about what happened Friday night. So, if you know me at all, I am a sucker for nostalgia. So, when I was a kid, I was 6. Obviously, that's what you do when you're, how old you are when you're a kid. I mean, 6 is a kid age. Anyways, my brother, who is technically, 11 years, few months older than me, 12 years older than me, somewhere right around there. But when I was younger, like 6, 7, 8, 9, I don't even remember the years. The only thing I remember is that I was in first grade, second grade, third grade. My brother, being older than me, was in college, about 40 minutes away at the University of Oklahoma during the 80s. So that was like 86 to 90. So yeah, I was probably 6, 7, 8, 9, that age range there. And my brother would come home on the weekends if there was a Mike Tyson fight. Because as a kid, and if you have an older brother, you look up to your older brother or sister, sibling, whatever it might be. And so I did look up to my brother, and whenever he got to come home, whenever he came home, it was always fun for me because I felt like the cool little brother. His fraternity brothers that would sometimes come with him would play basketball with me in the yard, that kind of thing. So it was fun. But some of those weekends, from what I remember, it was probably, it seems like a lot. It was literally probably like 3, maybe 4 at the most. But my brother would come home and we would purchase whatever Mike Tyson fight was on, pay-per-view at the time. And man, even back then, pay-per-view, I remember being like $75, maybe $50, maybe even $100 for a Tyson fight. And so my brother would come home, maybe bring some fraternity brothers, maybe not, get the Mike Tyson fight, and we would watch Mike Tyson. That was my intro to boxing at a young age. I've never boxed in my life. I had a speed bag in my garage when I was a kid and like high school. I kind of want a speed bag again because they're super fun. But I say all this, I never boxed, but I did enjoy watching boxing and Mike Tyson. I had Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on Nintendo. I think I have the cartridge somewhere. I tried to find it and I can't. But Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was the game to play on the NES. And watching Mike Tyson fights were always awesome for me because I had those memories of watching with my older brother and just that. And so fast forward to Friday night, Mike Tyson, 58 years old, is boxing 27-year-old Jake Paul, who, if you don't know who Jake Paul is, he became famous. He was on a Disney show, but then like Vine took off, which was a 6-second video clip for Twitter back in the day. You could make videos and they could only be 6 seconds. It was actually awesome. I wish that Elon Musk would bring that back. So Elon, I know you're listening to this. Let's bring back Vine. Okay, let's do that. I think it'd be a good idea. But that's where Jake Paul became even more famous, was Vine and YouTube, that kind of thing. And now he's a professional boxer. I think he's boxed like 10 or 11 fights. And I'm not really sure if it's more for show or not at this point. Everyone he's boxed has been older than him. I think, maybe not everybody, but the majority of the people he has boxed has been older than him. And so that's what we got on Friday night. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. And There was a lot of money exchanged on bets, but also those guys made a ton of money for an 8-round fight where each round went 2 minutes, where typically those fights should be 12 rounds and 3 minutes. But this was all for show, and I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting an actual fight. I don't know why. I think because of the whole Mike Tyson aspect of it, I wanted a full fight, and I wanted 20-year-old Mike Tyson to come out, not 58-year-old Mike Tyson. And obviously that wasn't going to happen, nor did that happen. And so we got stuck with a weird exhibition fight where these fighters got paid millions and millions of dollars to dance around and land a few punches, and it was very disappointing. And not only that, while watching the Mike Tyson fight, it looked like I was watching it on a Nintendo with how bad the streaming was by Netflix. So that's a whole other point that I'm going to talk about. But again, if you watch the fight, I was disappointed because I was expecting more, and I don't know why I was, but I was expecting something much better and more fun than those two guys dancing around the ring for, what's 8 times 2? 16 minutes. Horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And then Netflix, they laid an egg, kept freezing. You had to keep going out of the app, coming back in. And then I saw Antonio Brown was streaming it from the fight. He was videoing the Jumbotron in the arena in Dallas, and people were watching his stream on Twitter/X to watch the fight because Netflix kept crashing. And it was like Tecmo Bowl meets Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on a 8-bit Nintendo Entertainment System. So not only was the boxing quality horrible, so was the video quality in the year of 2024. And so that brings up the other point of, I know a ton of people watched it. I know that Netflix obviously wasn't ready. They should have been ready. They weren't. And what that does now is that brings us to what's happening on December 25th on Netflix. 2 NFL games. 2 NFL games are going to be on Netflix on Christmas, and I am now nervous about that. What is going to happen on December 25th, Christmas Day, football, when these games, I think there's 2 games, I'm going to double check them here real quick. Yeah, of course, the Chiefs versus the Steelers, 10 a.m. my time on Netflix, and then 1:30 is the Ravens-Texans. So the Chiefs, 9-1, they got their first loss yesterday against the Bills. It should have been the week before against the Broncos, but the Bills went ahead and did it. Against the Steelers, who are 8-2 at this point. And then the Ravens versus Texans. The Ravens are 7-4 right now. Texans are 6-4. So 2 games on Christmas Day where most likely all 4 teams will have winning records. And there could be some playoff implications involved with these games. And they're both on Netflix. So Netflix has, 5 weeks to get their junk together and not let what happened Friday night happen on Christmas Day while football is on. I hope that they're prepared. I hope the NFL is prepared. And I'm sure after what happened on Friday night, the NFL is looking at this and talking with Netflix. And obviously Netflix knows it's nothing new to them. And so I just know there's conversations happening and stuff is being done to make it that not happen again, to not let that happen again, especially on Christmas Day during football. That would be not ideal. Not ideal. So that's happening. The fight happened. Football happened. Life is happening. We're going into the holidays. We're going into Thanksgiving is, 10 days from now? Games on Thanksgiving. I can't wait for that. What channel are those games on? Let's look. Anybody know? Just kidding. You can't answer that right now. Thursday, what do we got? CBS, Fox, and NBC. Perfect. That's the way football should be played. I can't stand the streaming aspect of it, of like Thursday night games on Prime. Like, we don't have an Amazon Prime account for like buying stuff, You could pay like $160 or whatever a year to get the free shipping and all that. We don't do that, but I know that Prime came with that. Well, when we did away with that, we lost Prime. So then I got suckered into paying $8 a month or $9 a month now just to get Thursday Night Football, because Thursday Night Football is on Prime. And now I'm going to have to get Netflix again just to get Christmas Day games. So I can't stand the streaming like that on a platform that does it like that. YouTube TV is obviously a little different. That's like a full cable package. It's streaming, but it's at least cable, whereas this is Netflix and Prime, which this is their third year to do this, or third year, right? For Thursday Night Football on Prime. It's fine. I mean, I love the announcers. It's great. I don't even know who's going to announce these games for Netflix. Sure, I could look that up, and maybe I should, but I just am not a fan, because now I've had to buy Amazon Prime Video for football season and Netflix just to get Christmas Day games, which kudos to them for, I guess, getting me to do that. And I'm not the only one. I guarantee that too. So I'm going to look up here real quick. Netflix Christmas NFL games announcing crew. Who do we got? I haven't even looked. Ian Eagle? Okay. We'll be alongside J.J. Watt and Nate Burleson for the Steelers-Kansas City Chiefs game. And then Noah Eagle, Ian's son, will be joined by Fox's Greg Olson for the Houston Texans and Baltimore Ravens in the nightcap. So I'm fine with that. That's not bad. I love Eagle. I love when he does basketball. So it'll be all right. Let's see here. I was seeing if there was anything else on the call. TJ plays for the Steelers, right? We know that. So I guess it won't be horrible. Greg Olson's great. So we'll see what they paid here. Does it tell me what Netflix paid? Netflix paid approximately $150 million for the 2 games that will be played on a Wednesday. With no internal talent, the company had to rely on existing announcers to fill those roles. CBS Sports is producing the games. Perfect. So CBS is producing them. It's just now, can Netflix handle the streaming traffic? Because we know CBS can produce sports. So that's good. Okay, so I feel a little bit better about that. I just hope that we get no interruptions and no freezing like we did Friday night with the Tyson. So that's that. A lot happening. A lot has happened. So, football is in full swing. We're already in the latter half of the season, right, for college, which is kind of insane to think about. Football, we're right in the middle of it. NFL football, that is. And so I'm going to look here to see what games last week. Were there any upsets last week? So much was happening. It was my daughter's last game for soccer for the season. And so I just want to see. I can't look. Oh, really? Can't look at top 25 scores on here. Great. Scores. Let's see here. College football scoreboard. Oh, Indiana, Ohio State is this week. I hope Indiana beats them. It's at Ohio State. Number 5, Indiana versus number 2, Ohio State. Would love to see that upset. What is Ohio State's favored by 12.5? Not surprised. At home, and it's Ohio State. Any other games this week coming up? What do we got, man? Oof. BYU, Arizona State. Arizona State being 8-2 and unranked. They're a surprise in the Big 12. I get it. They're unranked because they lost to Texas Tech and Cincinnati, who are not that great, but I feel like they've really got a chance to beat BYU this weekend. So even though they're not ranked, and BYU took their first loss against, who did they lose to? Wow, I just went blank. BYU lost to Kansas for the second year in a row. But, and Kansas plays Colorado. But I think BYU gets beat by Arizona State. It's at Arizona State, and actually Arizona State's favored by 3 right now. So I think that happens. Colorado is favored by 3 over Kansas. Are there any other top 25 games? Army, Notre Dame? That is on NBC. That should be a fun game. Army 9-0, ranked 24. Notre Dame 9-1. They lost to Northern Illinois, and they're number 8 in the country. The rankings are so wild anyways right now, but I hope Army upsets Notre Dame. Even though Notre Dame is favored by 14 with the over-under of 44.5, I think it goes under 44.5. That's just my guess, but I'm horrible at gambling, so, Alabama OU. Alabama is favored by 14. They're going to handily beat OU in Norman. What game is game day going to? I didn't even see this. I'm sure it was announced, but where's game day going? Texas A&M Auburn? Vanderbilt LSU? College game day. Where are they going this week? Let's check that out real quick. Oh, man, what's happening? Can't log in. Game day. What week is this coming up? Well, obviously, they should be at Indiana, Ohio State. The very first game I said, right? It's that game. It's on Fox. So game day will be there, but then that game will be on Fox. So where is Herb Street and Fowler? What game are they calling this week? That's really funny. They're like, sorry, I'm looking this up right now. Kirk Herbstreit seemingly leaks next week's college game day location. It's number 3 versus number 5. Like, of course they're going to that game. But, or is that for, yeah. That makes the most sense anyways, that they would go to that game day. But I don't know where Herbstreit is calling this week with Fowler. Anyways, I could waste so much time looking all this stuff up. But that's college football. That's what's happening. Again, we're in the full swing of it. What else happened? NBA, the Thunder finally lost without Chet to the Mavs, and they actually had a chance to tie it at the end of the game after being down quite a bit. So the Thunder look good. And in my last podcast, I said that when Chet comes back, that the Thunder will be in the top 5 of the West. They might be 1 or 2 at this point. I don't know. They're playing really good. Anyways, without Chet playing small ball, will they be in the top 2? It would be awesome. But I could see top 3. I could see top 3. I said 5, but let's just go ahead and move that to top 3 as long as we keep those injuries at bay. So what else has happened in NBA? What was a big thing? Something inside the NBA. That's right. That's on TNT right now with Chuck and Shaq always going at it. That game or that show now is going to be moving to ESPN and ABC next season. They made a deal. I saw the headline. I didn't actually read the story. But you got Ernie Johnson, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, and Shaq, 25-26 season. Via a partnership with TNT Sports and the NBA, it was announced Monday that they will appear on ESPN and ABC. Except when the show goes on the road, TNT will continue to independently produce Inside the NBA from its Atlanta-based studios over the term of the agreement. Okay. Interesting. So that's good, though. At least we don't lose those guys because that's probably one of the funniest live shows on TV. If you ever get a chance, watch Inside the NBA on TNT because it's pretty funny with those guys. So that's kind of a big deal for that. I like it because, again, like I said, that's a great show, good times, and I'm glad that it will live on, at least for now, on ESPN ABC. So that's cool. The Lakers, they're going to give Pat Riley a statue outside of Staples Center, Crypto.com Arena, whatever it's called now, Crypto Arena. I don't even know. I can't keep up with these advertising names anymore. But that's good. Pat Riley gets a statue. So there's that. Anything else in sports? I don't know if I have anything else in sports. I do want to talk life real quick. I want to talk, this is just something small and maybe doesn't matter to some people. Especially if you don't have kids, it won't matter, but you'll still maybe understand this. I am a huge proponent of, I'm switching gears from sports to this. But this weekend we put up our Christmas decorations. I get it. It's November 18th. I also don't care. Like, I get that it's not even Thanksgiving and, you got to wait till after Thanksgiving to put up anything. And it's like, also, I live in Southern California. 103.5 right now is playing Christmas music. So there's that also. I get in my car and I listen to Christmas music. For one, I enjoy it. And I like to do things that bring joy into my life. And if that's putting up Christmas decorations and listening to Christmas music, fine. If you want to judge me for that, do it. I don't care because it doesn't affect me if you judge me for putting up Christmas music. You might think it's ridiculous, and that's fine because it is ridiculous, and I'm okay with it. But what I wanted to say also is I try to go all out as best I can with putting up Christmas lights. I'm no Clark Griswold from Christmas Vacation, although I was wearing some Stance, made by Stance, Christmas Vacation socks yesterday while I put up the lights, so I could at least get in the spirit of things a little bit. But also, having kids, and my kids are only, they're only 21 months apart, so they are still young, 7 and 9, but 21 months apart, and they absolutely love this time of year. And yesterday, as I was putting up stuff, I was thinking like, man, okay, my 9-year-old, like, he's only got like 9 more Christmases till he's 18. That's not a lot. Like, he's already spent half of his Christmases in our house. And so, if he goes to college or moves out at 18, if that happens, but I'm just throwing that timeline out there, but this is going to be, he'll be halfway through his Christmases before he's, right now. So that's wild. And so it's like, our kids enjoy it. If I only got 9 more of these Christmases where they're at home, maybe 10, 11, then I'm going to decorate early because I'm not doing it for me as much as I am for them. I mean, I guess I am doing it for me because I like to see our kids happy, and I like to see the joy that's on their faces when we put up all the obnoxious things that we have for Christmas outside and inside, our blow-ups, and we bought a 9-foot Santa Claus blow-up that we put up, and so fun. Christmas tree is up, almost fully decorated. But I just bring this up, and that's why, because of just the life side of things, of realizing, it's like they say, like with your kids, you only have 18 summers. It's like the same with Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, not that everyone does, but we do. And you've only got 18 Christmases, I guess, technically, just like you've got 18 summers. And so, I'm not going to wait until December to put up Christmas decorations because I want our kids to enjoy this time of year and all of that. And so that's it. That's where I'm at with that. I know it's a little weird and odd for me to talk about, but if you ever listened to this podcast before, I would always talk about sports, and then I would talk about life things. And so that's what I'm kind of doing today, is talk some sports, talk some life. One other thing I'm going to say, and I don't ever talk politics on here, but one thing I will say about the election and the political side of things and, just our country is hearing people on TV and then just on social media saying that, to distance yourself from relatives who voted for Trump. I think that is one of the most dangerous, stupidest things ever, to box people out because of who they voted for. Like, if you're not talking to somebody, or if you're not entertaining the idea of hanging out with somebody, or if you are not inviting someone over for Thanksgiving, or you're not going to a Thanksgiving or Christmas or a party or anything because the person who's hosting or whatever voted for the person you didn't vote for, that says more about you than it does the other person. If you're deciding to not see somebody because of who they voted for, that says more about you than it does them, because they don't care. Like, it's just wild that we've come to this point in our world, and the divisiveness and just that whole thing. Like, I just think it's sad. I think it's really sad. And I think it's sad too that people might do this and listen to people on TV say, hey, if somebody voted for Trump, maybe don't go to their Thanksgiving. How about this? Just don't talk politics. Like, make it a politic-free environment. Like, that's what you should do. And that's what it should be anyways. Like, nobody wants to talk about politics anyways, and especially on holidays. People want to enjoy food, each other, tell stories, watch some football, play some football out in the yard, because that's what you do on Thanksgiving, some backyard football with NFL on, the TV somewhere in the house, maybe a fire going, depending on the temperature of where you live. But I mean, don't talk politics anyways during get-togethers, because it's never a win for anybody when that happens anyways. And so that's just where I'm at on this. I just think it's so stupid, and I think people are insane right now. As we all know, if you watch any of the media or you're on social media, and it's both sides, there's idiots on both sides, and there's things you may agree with and disagree with on both sides. There's things in your own party that you probably disagree with. I hope so. And things you agree with. And there's going to be things in that other party that you agree with and disagree with. And that's okay. That's how it should be. I shouldn't have to agree with everything that you agree with, and whatever the platform is on either side. And so I feel like that's kind of where we're at, especially with Democrats. Like, they want everyone to believe and see things the way they see them. And it shouldn't be that way at all, either way. And so that's my little political spiel for the entire year, because I'm not going to talk about politics anymore. I just wanted to get that out there. Like, don't burn bridges. It's not worth it, especially if you've got family members or friends. Like, don't burn bridges. It's not worth it, because one day you're going to want to cross that bridge, and you may have burned that bridge down, and it might be too late. So just, again, I'm urging you, I'm asking you, do what you want, obviously, because, I mean, you're over 18, you're an adult, you can make your own choices, but just don't box people out because of who they voted for. It's not worth it. And if you're the one doing that, you're the one who looks like an idiot anyways, not the other person. And if you want to be sad and lonely on a holiday, more power to you, I guess. But that's where I'm at on all that, because I've got friends on both sides of the aisle, and we all get along just fine. We may not agree on things, and we give each other a hard time about what we agree with and disagree with, and that's okay. Like, that is okay. Like, people need to understand and realize that, yes, the nation is divided, but we should be divided in a healthy way, not in a hateful way. I mean, when you look at I think I just looked at the overall votes, and I think it's like 76 million plus for Trump and 73 million plus for Harris. That's the voting block. So more than half, So anyways, more than 76 million people voted for Trump, and more than 73 million voted for Harris. There's got to be a way for people to get along. There's got to be a way for for Congress and the Senate to come together, to settle issues, to solve issues, to put things aside that don't matter. Because I don't care who you voted for. I don't care, and I shouldn't care at all. Excuse me. Vote for who you want. That's what's so great about this country. But don't get mad at somebody else for how they voted, because that's stupid, and that's not what it's about. You can disagree with them, whatever. But again, I'll be done with this. But don't burn bridges. Don't box people out. Don't go to holiday gatherings because there might be somebody there who voted for Trump, or there might be somebody there who voted for Harris. Who cares? Who cares? Just enjoy your time together. Enjoy the holidays. Have fun. I'm going to step off my soapbox now. This was a TED Talk about politics and my own ideas. But be well, be nice, be kind. Because again, we don't know what other people are going through at all. Especially people on the internet that you don't know. Like, who knows what other people are going through? I mean, obviously, you know what maybe your friends and family are, but other than that, that's a tight group. A small group of people versus the entire World Wide Web of the internet, where we don't know what people are going through. So just do your best to be kind, and I hope that I hope that this was at least somewhat good for you. It's good for me. I like to talk about things. And it's good to talk about tough things and hard things and that. But that's it for now. Enjoy the week. It's Monday. There's some good sports coming up that we're going to talk more about sports. I'm sure I missed something big, but that's okay. See you later.